Greetings, what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle featuring a spawning in the north. It is going to be the Wehrmacht forces of Torano. And spawning in the south, it is going to be the United States forces of Fredbrik. So yeah, I've cast both of these players before. Fredbrik, of course. I mean, Fredbrik. I'm a little bit of a fan of Fredbrik. He's a dude. He's a master. He's on the cusp of being one of the best players in the game, according to me. He's just really good fun to watch. I tend to learn a lot when I watch him play as well. So yeah, really excited to see what Fredbrik can do here. Torano, yeah, I think I've cast him here and there, but I don't really remember that much about his play, other than that he was a savvy operator, so clearly someone who knows how to play the game, clearly somebody worthy to take on Fredbrik if he's being matched against him on the ladder, so this should be a good game. The map, of course, is Langriskaya, so probably going to be a longer game, because this is just one of those maps where it's basically impossible to establish a triple cap, so look out for that. And as these two players move on out, I'll just say, sorry I haven't uploaded more over the last week or so. Basically, casting doesn't pay the bills because, well, casting doesn't pay any bills. So I do have to, you know, have a job and all that, and work has just been really, really busy. It's a busy time right now because it's the end of year accounts and all that kind of stuff. So I've been seeing to that, and there's been a few other things cropping up as well. And I thought it would all be done by now, but it's really not, and it's probably going to take next week as well. So I will cast as much as I can, but that is going to be slightly less than usual for this next week, I think. Which is a shame, because I've got this massive and awesome Homeworld Deserts of Karak tournament, some of which I'm going to attempt to cast just after this game, because I've got like a little window of casting time available right now. Yeah, so just letting you guys know where I'm at with scheduling and kind of life and how busy I am and stuff, really. But anyway, this game is kicking off in earnest. We've got a hell of a firefight going on here. MG42 getting set up in a nice position, catching some Americans in the arc. We've got some pioneers garrisoning this building. I imagine they're going to hop out and let the MG in here. Here we go, very nicely executed there. Torano here applying lovely pressure in the west. Fight over here in the east, though. Some riflemen seem to have taken care of some pioneers, grenadiers in the hood, and we will probably have a fight going on there in a second. But I'm going to frame this one here because there's just more units and more action going on here. Looks like these riflemen managed to get out of the arc of the MG. We're not pinned. And now this MG, ooh, this is an odd movement path. Whoa, yeah, I was going to say Torano has to be careful about that. These riflemen will, oh my goodness me. Fredbrik knows about this MG. Yeah, he does, and that has to be a fallback now. These riflemen are on top of that MG, which is not deployed. Okay, maybe he's going to run back to the building, actually, which is semi-savvy. He has to be careful. These pioneers are on quite low health now. And Fredbrik, look at the map. Utter domination as far as ground control and capturing has gone. And now, Torano is forced to fight on the doorstep of his base. This is desperate and bloody times here. He's fighting with, like, insufficient numbers of grenadiers against ridiculous amounts of riflemen. You know, medium cover for everybody out there, but it's probably not enough. Looks like Torano forced to give up this position down here. He's going to try and bring in the 42 here and catch these two rifleman squads in the rear. I like this a lot, but the trouble with this positioning is this MG42 is very susceptible to being flanked and attacked in its own rear. So this is going to be a tense one here for Torano. He's suppressed one squad, and now look, the riflemen actually, Fredbrik able to just move them a little further north, and now they're actually out of range. They're still fighting. These grenadiers are turbo low. Does Torano realize he does? The fallback comes down in good time, so nice play from him. But look at this relentless pressure from Fredbrik. And this is the thing about Langriskaya. We associate it with these long, grindy games, and it's true, it usually gets there. But the close spawn distance and the small nature of the map means that actually the opening stages are utterly ruthless and bloody, and you can lose really early. Whoa! Those pioneers getting so low. But they are going to escape. Additional grenadiers spawning in the heat of battle. Up to 3 squads of grenadiers now is Torano. Ground being captured. MG42 still hooning out of this building, doing some work here. And it looks like Torano is going to hold the doorstep of his base. No, there's still riflemen here for Fredbrik, just pounding in. Fredbrik here just doing a fantastic job of just applying pressure. Looks like, pardon me. Looks like he's gone for a lieutenant, and there's going to be a utility car coming up. That's going to be the tech of choice here. Low pioneers trying to fall back through. Rifleman goes down to 1 man. He should be able to get out of there. His health is reasonable. He can take 2 more hits. Yeah, he's good. So damn, though. Damn, Fredbrik is putting on the pressure. Okay, and now it looks like the wave is broken. Most of the rifleman squads are retreating. Most of them are reinforcing and that kind of stuff. So wow, Torano weathers it, but I mean, like, look at the map control, you know? Like, Fredbrik's on the double Muni. He actually has no fuel, but he's on the double Muni, which definitely helps when you're Americans. And here comes the utility car, so he should be able to upgrade. Yeah, there we go. The double Muni is going to let him get instantaneous armored skirts. Look how much he's got, plus 53 munitions income. This is absurd. He's going to be able to get all the BARs he needs if he wants them. And I imagine he will. Speaking of BARs, Lieutenant out here kicking ass, chewing bubblegum, taking names. And, yeah, this is like a really nice start for Fredbrik. This is exactly how you draw it up with United States forces. You have a really good early game. Oh, he gets the MG42 very nicely there. Utility car and the lieutenant responsible for the demise of that squad. This lieutenant actually getting hang out a little bit to dry here. Needs to think about getting this lieutenant out of here. Whoa, Fredbrik forgetting there for just a second too long. These grenadiers with some focused fire could try and get this lieutenant. Nah, it's too risky with these riflemen running up into their grill. Meanwhile, over in the west, geez, there's just action going on everywhere. Looks like riflemen and grenadiers both pretty damaged. Looks like those riflemen damaged because they forced back the MG42, which got gunned down in this location. Pioneer's going to recruit that MG42, though. So Torano still has the potent MG at his disposal as we move forwards here. This scout car going for a little poke up the right flank here, and now is going to help hose down these grenadiers. And damn, I mean, Fredbrik is just so active with all his units, just constantly applying pressure. Really like what I'm seeing. He's got good veterancy developing across his riflemen. I mean, you know, credit where credit's due. Torano with some veterancy on his riflemen, but sorry, on his grenadiers, but the grenadiers are cheaper, and the US riflemen actually have more veterancy on them. So that speaks to how much damage Fredbrik's been able to be doing out here. As I just pause for a sip on my tea here. And damn, what an action-packed start we've got here. This could be the foundation of a fantastic game. Torano looks like he feels like he wants to take a commander, so he's gone ahead and he's gone for the mechanized assault doctrine. Now, he's gone for this turbo early. This does make me wonder if he... Okay, looks like he wants the half-track assault group, so he's coming up for enough manpower for that. He needs 490. Taking this commander just a little early. But this is a great map for this commander. The Stug Light, I cannot believe it's not Stug, is actually really good on this map. And so's the Tiger, and so's Artillery. And, you know, actually all of these things are good on this map, really, except for the Assault Grenadiers, who are still a bit meh. But hey, who knows? We might see them used. I like it when Mechanized Assault Vermac players just spice in, like, one squad of Assault Grenadiers. Those always seem to do good if you just go for the one squad. It's a nice, like, complementary unit to have. Anyway, looks like this lieutenant should be enough to put pay to these riflemen over here in the west. Utility car is actually going to come across here for some additional support, so that's pretty nice. He has to be careful, actually, because the grenadiers, yeah, I was going to say, the grenadiers could hop out of the building and just quickly Faust this thing, which would be annoying. So Fredbrik has to treat that with a little bit of caution. Torano right now is just desperately trying to get anything done. Still on 3 grenadiers, MG42 and pioneers. Is he stacking resources? No. What has he got? Oh, okay, there's the half-track assault group. Here we go. So, okay, now he has Panzergrands, and he does not yet have his Like the Mech, so he is actually doing some tech skipping here with the mechanized assault doctrine. So, Panzergrands coming on out onto the field. They've got the 250 half-track, which is pretty lame. But actually, having said that, you know, players who are really good at it, and Fredbrik actually, in my memory, is like one of the better players with those things. You know, in this game he's playing the American forces, but... yeah, players who are good with this thing can actually get a lot of utility out of this little scout car. The Shrek upgrade's finished with a lovely timing, and boom, there goes the utility car. Seems like Torano, you know, he's not flustered, he's not fussed. Yeah, he got off to, you know, yeah, Fredbrik got off to a really spicy start, but Torano, he's played against USF, you know, countless times, so he knows that the USF are a really spicy package in the early game. Whoa, these grenadiers getting traded on down. I hope that Torano doesn't forget about them, because they're taking fire from a lot of stuff here. It's 3 squads of American soldiers hooning into them. There we go. Torano going to get them out of there. Those grenadiers there falling on back. This 250 half-track actually still policing the field. 2 STGs on that is still some decent drive-by power. So able to force back a squad of riflemen there with the help of some grenadiers, of course. And, you know, Torano is looking okay, I guess, in the fight. But, I mean, look at the map. Look at the resource differential. It's 26 and 16 munitions and fuel for Torano. And 58 and 36 for Fredbrik. So, you know, Fredbrik right now pulling away in a big way in terms of resources. Now, the MG42 is coming on back into mid. That's going to enable Torano to start policing the ground, start locking down these capture points, start stemming the American advance through this area of the map. But, I don't know. He needs to push that thing up, like, really fast. He basically wants to get it into this building. If he can get the MG42 into this building, everything's going to be sweet. But it's kind of on the other side of the map, right? Is that a 50 cal? Wow, there's a 50. I thought I could hear a 50 cal firing earlier. Okay, so there's a 50 cal in this building as well. Fredbrik, really nice stuff. again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you spawn in the south on this map, you want to get an MG into this building. If you spawn in the north on this map, you want to get an MG into this building. That's how it works. So Fredbrik, playing that game pretty well, did get a 50 cal into this building, but it was unsupported, so the Panzer Grenadiers, with a little bit of help, were able to chip that one down. It does get out on a pixel of health, so a nice save there from Fredbrik. And just constant action. This has been like 10 minutes of raucous action. I am loving this game so far. Now we've got riflemen trying to bookmark, or trying to like hold this building, so that the 50 cal can get back to it, but they're taking a ton of fire. Let's see if Fredbrik is able to get them out of there, because they are pretty low and surrounded right now. There is assistance here. Captain has taken the field, and you know what, actually, Fredbrik even has Stuart fuel right now, and a Stuart would be pretty spicy, I feel, if he could just dodge the Panzer Grenadiers, which is pretty easy to do, I think. The 250 half-track is a comeback to base. Looks like that is now awaiting repairs. No medical bunker, actually, at home. So these Panzergrens are, like, stuck at half health. That's really annoying. That may have an impact on these fights coming up. Pay close attention now to the Panzer Grenadiers, and we'll see if that's actually going to impact things. But yeah, look, see, they're already just taking some shots from these rear echelons, which would normally be you know, trivial, but they're under half health with 4 men, so they're going to start losing serious numbers of Panzergrens to, like, rear echelon fire, like, shortly, which, I mean, you just never want that. Here comes the Stug Light, though. Torano's plan here going to be to rely on the power of the assault gun here. And that, like I was saying earlier, it's a nice choice on this map. Because it's such a small map, it's very hard to flank those units, which means that you can just bring its gun to bear and just keep taking shots. And, you know, 5-man squads, that it almost starts looking like a disadvantage, because the AoE on those projectiles is so good, actually. If you cluster up, you can, like, nuke whole squads with this thing. Like, it's rare, but it happens. And now, there we go. Look, see, the range, the field control, the power, the Stug immediately making its presence felt here. And now, Fredbrik is going to have to find an answer. So, Stuart's on the production queue right now, and of course he has a Zook on his captains. That's like the beginnings of a toolkit that can take this on, but I don't think it's going to be enough. With Cunning Micro, and with good awareness on his on this Stuggy assault gun, Torano can just reverse move anytime the Stuart tries for a play. So as long as this Stug is well supported and kept safe, I don't foresee any difficulties. Now, looks like this 250 half-track has been converted into a clown car with the Flammenwerfer. Good anti-vehicle rifle grenade coming down off these riflemen, though, actually, which ends those clown car shenanigans pretty much as soon as they start. So a little bit of an anti-climax there. I was really hoping we could see that do a bit better. Stuart rolls into town, and that will complete the kill here. Where are these pioneers? Getting gunned down to a man. Torano's attention was just elsewhere for a second there. He's going to lose his pioneers. He's going to lose the Flammenwerfer. That's so expensive. He can ill afford to do so. What the? And the Panzerfaust that was about to fire. The guy dies right when it's about to fire. So the Stuart gets away scot-free. So, kind of a skillful, lucky combination of events there for Fredbrik, putting him, I would say, firmly in the lead. Look at the top left, look at the top right now. Without the 250 half-track, without the pioneers with flamethrower, you know, and with a Stuart that's unfausted, that's pretty good right now for the American player. So Fredbrik looking pretty handsome. Now the Stuart gets up on top of the Stug. No, you can't let this happen, Torano. I see what he was doing. He had the Stug out here trying to find the rear armor of the Stuart, but now this is bad times. This is real bad times. Okay, come on. Oh, he gets another hit. These two vehicles duking and jiving. The Stuggy is actually a little cheaper, is it? No, it's 5 more fuel. Okay, so nearly even Stevens out here. And now here come the Grenadiers coming in for the Faust. That's going to ward off the Stuart. The Stuart gets pushed back. Meanwhile, there's combat going on over here on the right. 50 cal machine gun hooning on out of this barn, trying to take some shots. The Panzer Grenadiers are forced out of there, so the Shreks are not going to be the answer for the Stuart, which is badly crippled right now. Another Stuggy assault gun comes in. This captain is staying for the final Zook shot, and he doesn't get it, so Fredbrik suffers a squad wipe, and the bazooka is dropped. The Grenadiers are going to pick that one up immediately. There's just stuff going on all the time in this game. And now the Stuart on turbo low health, trying to duke and jive with 2 assault guns. We just got to rotate this one, Torano. Rotate for the kill. And he finds it at, like, maximum range. I thought that Stuart was going to get away. That was a great Stuart, though. Even though it didn't survive that long or do particularly great amounts of damage, that Stuart bought so much time and was so inconvenient. And to be fair, you know, it did kill 2 units, even if one of them was a 250 half-track. So, you know, that Stuart definitely not valueless. I would say it probably was, you know, probably actually made its cost back in terms of just damage done, as well as buying extra time. So that's pretty cool as I take a sip on my tea. Hot diggity damn, what a game. Oh man. Oh my god, it's like literally I have time for 2 sips on my tea, and then brrr, like an MG42 just starts hooning on out of this building. Bullets flying through the air. Luckily it's not too much, just some rear echelons here getting peppered up a little bit. But wow, yeah, so okay, so I think this game's pretty much stable now. Look at the top left, look at the top right. These two armies, you know, there's like an awkward kind of standoff, I guess. Looks like actually Fredbrik going to try and break it. Whoa, immediately the Stug here takes out the 50 cal. So Fredbrik has to recruit at the expense of pretty much this whole advance because now he has to fall back a lot of squads. So that Stug able to just completely slap down this American advance. And now we're at the stage where, like, American infantry is fantastic. It's 5-man squads. It's all really good. But the Stugs just outrange it and decimate it. So, like, these American infantry are severely devalued by the presence of the two Stugs on the field. One of them now has a star of veterancy, so has target weak point even. So, I mean, you know, Fredbrik, savvy choices here. He brings in the M1 anti-tank gun. That's going to give him some game here. And remember, of course, this thing better than it's ever been after the last patch that we had. So, yeah, that is an appropriate choice. He needs to... Oh, God, he actually lost the whole captain squad, didn't he? Oh, damn. So he doesn't have that Zook anymore. Does he have weapon racks? Let's just quickly check the base. Oh, that's the major building. How do I always forget which one is the main HQ building? Okay, so he does have weapon racks, and he's got, like, some resources. So I would not hate seeing some Zooks. Okay, he's got BARs coming down onto his riflemen, but I would not hate seeing a Zook or two here. Because, I mean, you know, the cat's out the bag. Fredbrik knows Torano's gone for the mechanized assault doctrine, and you're gonna need some Zooks, because, I mean, there's never going to be an end to these Stug lights, you know? They're so cheap, they're so good, they're so effective against everything that American forces are trying to do till you can get your medium or heavy armor out for the American forces. So, like, I just think he needs more AT. I think he needs to be able to push these things back. Yeah, we can see some Zooks firing off these rear echelons here, so some sensible stuff here from Fredbrik, and that's going to buy him a little bit more Stug-free time, if you like, whilst that Stug has to repair. Wow, the AT gun, though, getting caught out here. We got Pioneers with the Flammenwerfer all up in their grill, and that is actually serious business. Oh no, but the Pioneer's just getting cut down! This Lieutenant's a monster! God damn, the DPS! I mean, yeah, you never want to just be walking past him, but damn, that was spicy. Okay, the Flammenwerfer gets picked back up by some Grenadiers, but I mean, a bitter loss on those Pioneers there. And now, okay, with the loss of those Pioneers, Torano's position is pretty damn precarious here. How does he have a triple cap going? I've only just noticed this. The scoreline, like, Torano's catching back up after the horrendous phase of dominance that Fredbrik was able to secure in, like, the first 10, 12 minutes of this game. Torano's had a triple cap going for, like, ever, which, like, well, not ever, but for, like, 2 minutes, which on this map is... That is no mean feat. So Fredbrik, okay, he's going to marshal the Eastern VP. He's going to, in a second, I imagine, go for capping mid because he can do that now. And then he's not going to be bleeding. But this game, what an opening. What a spicy 17.5 minutes we've had. This has just been like turbo fun to cast. Just constant mayhem, constant action. Two skilled players just living in the moment here, just being right on the edge, just playing to their, you know, playing to the edge of their ability, playing their hearts out here, microing all their squads. You know, like nearly no mistakes spotted. Great awareness. You know, I would say the closest thing to a mistake we've seen so far is Torano losing his Pioneers twice now. But I mean, you know, his window for reaction there was like sub 2 seconds. So, I mean, when you're playing an RTS, sometimes you don't catch these things in time. So I can completely sympathize, and I wouldn't say that that was like bad play, if you like. I mean, it was, you know, it could have been better, but only if you're like some kind of superhuman god, and not everyone is. So, I think these two players basically both playing really, really well. And look at the veterancy that Torano has. I mean, well, look at the veterancy they both have. Like, this is pretty good, and we're getting set up for that traditional Langreskaya. I feel like everything's settling in now for a turbo long game. I wouldn't be surprised to see this reach 50 minutes now. We'll see. But you know, this now has, because it's about equal. You know, look at the top left, look at the top right. Yeah, the armies are more or less even. I think I like Fredbrik's army a little bit more. But not much. And then you look at the scoreline. Yeah, again, I mean, okay, there's like 22 points in it, but it's pretty even for like the 18 coming up to the 19-minute mark. So, yep, this game totally alive right now. This game is totally alive. Wow! Wow, 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 wow. So the Zooks and the AT gun there just seeing off one of the Stugs. Now here comes a German assault here. LMG-42 starting to crop up on some of these Grenadiers. Remember, these ones also have the Flammenwerfer, so some real spice being added on into these Grenadiers, but a mass fallback. 4 squads. In fact, the entire frontline infantry complement here for Torano pretty much being forced back. This 50 cal, sorry, this 42, sorry, this MG42 doing basically nothing. But what I do really like is Fredbrik mixed in this mortar. It's already got 2 kills, nearly 1 level of veterancy, and that's the kind of stalemate breaker which is going to serve him in good stead. Now I think Torano taking note. You know, he's heard the mortars, he's seen them firing, he's seen them like hooning down onto his guys. So he's going to go for a GR34, which we just now have entering the field. So I like this a lot. Both players going to invest in an indirect fire option. Both players now have an option for smoke as well. I don't know if they're going to, you know, it seems that mostly people just forget that smoke's an option on mortars, but, you know, they've both got a machine gun, so we could see smoke used to counter an MG here or there or something. Which I would, you know, it's just nice to have the option to put smoke down. Speaking as an overcommand player, I just always appreciate the ability to click and have a smoke barrage. There are not many ways of doing that with overcommand, so that's always a nice thing to have. Always a nice thing to have. Anyway, looks like we've got one of the Stugs going to rance on out here into the west. We'll have to see what the point of this is. Maybe he's just coming across here just to put pay to these rear echelons. Looks like that is exactly where he's headed to. Meanwhile, Fredbrik has established a strong point here in mid. He's got a lot of weapon teams which represent considerable strength. He's also got escorting Guardian infantry here, which is keeping these weapon teams, the fragile weapon teams, safe. Here comes the Stug. Okay, now these rear echelons do have a Zook, but they're getting horrendously gibbed by this... by the AoE attacks on the Stug assault gun there. So the Stug is going to put pay to that. That's going to stop Fredbrik from grabbing the westmost fuel. But he's already got the VP over there, and there's no infantry, just the Stug on the west flank right now. So Torano is not going to be able to make any ground over there. Whoa, I would love it if he would just split these squads and grab these 2 points. This is a fuel point of VP, Torano. Oh my god! What the... Okay, so our Pershing's here. Yeah, so Fredbrik's chosen his commander. Heavy Cav it is. Heavy Cav ahoy! And now there's a Pershing. Oh god, the Pershing could just kill these 4 guys! Oh, okay, they do split. Okay, when you have infantry standing that close together, it's like trivial for the Pershing just to like sneeze them down with its massive cannon. It's just like, Hachu! And they all just die. So he's got to be careful, but the Shreks are actually getting pretty decent hits. That Pershing is getting worked now. He's just feeding veterancy. Whoa, okay, now the Panzergrens need to GTFO. Don't stay for another shot. They're so clustered. No, the Pershing has the range there. The Pershing has sufficient range. Oh my god, he stayed for 2 more Shreks, and they were cracking rounds. Going to get himself a 3rd star of veterancy, so the gamble pays off there. I think if that was me, for sure I would have fallen that squad back, but looks like Torano made of sterner stuff. Oh, and he gets all of his squads out of there. This Pershing's so turbo low. Oh, he has to be so careful with this Pershing. So careful. But he does have a nice ring of infantry around it, supporting it, so actually he's able to... He's able to be okay. Whoa, 3-star riflemen. 3-star grenadiers. Okay, and they're going to get out of there as well. So both players just treading a fine line here. No big squad wipes coming down in a pretty spectacular engagement involving a Pershing and a ton of other units. So that speaks to the skill level of the game that we're being treated here to. Now the medical bunker is down, thank goodness. I don't know when that was established, but I know I haven't said it yet. So the medical bunker is down. It's probably been here for like 10 or more minutes. But yeah, that's just really useful. Bad positioning, though. We always want to put it behind the medical HQ. If you've not, just YouTube that video. Just Google Company of Heroes 2 medic bunker placement or something, or medic bunker video or something, because, like, again, it makes this thing, like, I don't know, 30% more efficient or, like, more to have it behind the HQ here. In fact, we've got a moment of quiet here, so let me try and explain. When you fall units back, they're wounded. Now, they're coming back here and they're falling back, and the medics run to them, but they're still falling back. So the damaged units go all the way here. The medics run here and then have to run all the way back and start healing them. And this happens every time, and it's exacerbated. If you fall back a load of units, then the medics are like stuck here going like, run this way, run this way, run this way, and then they heal them all, and then it's just rubbish. If you have your medics here, they just run, their maximum distance that they'll go away from the medic bunker is about here, which is exactly where your units will be, so they will just come from the medic bunker to here, and they will never waste time running. They will just always be healing next to your HQ, which is what you bought them for. If you put the medic bunker here, they spend like half their lives running back and forth along this stretch of ground because medic AI. So that's why, that's the basics. That's why, you know, Magpie's top tip for the day, Vermac players, put that medic bunker behind your HQ. And I know it's like a really small thing, and you're all like, oh, why is Magpie making such a big deal of this? But once you see the video, you'll see what I mean. It makes that medic bunker like half as much efficient again, and that means that your units are ready to fight faster. It means that they're wounded for far less time. It's just better. So anyway. Looks like the Pershing going to poke on in here, but there's enough infantry-based AT here to see them off. Looks like some mines also actually being placed by these riflemen. That's pretty spicy. Don't know if Torano saw that or not. I don't think so. We've got a little fight over here in the west. There's some rear echelons going to be repulsed by the Flammenwerfer Grenadiers. Those guys pretty hardcore. They really know how to burn, those Americans are. So that's all pretty good. This Pershing actually getting a little caught out here. Looks like a little bit of the old... What's this thing? What's that ability called? Actually, seriously, what is that ability called? Did he just use combined arms? No, surely not. Whoop! What was making that lieutenant run faster there and have the lightning bolt icon above him? I'm actually genuinely not sure what that was. I'm sure I've just forgotten. I'm just having like a little like moment here. Anyway, here comes a tiger tank. So the big cat is here. And now the Pershing has to make itself a little bit scarce. Doesn't want to get caught by that thing, of course. This AT gun also slightly in jeopardy. The Tiger cunningly using this building here very nicely. It looks like the Flammenwerfer Grenadiers have been repulsed. A lot of riflemen over there. But now here come the two Stugs. They're going to start chipping in against these AT guns and the infantry. The Tiger actually gets his engine broken and it's way down on health. The 18 rounds on these AT guns are so powerful. The HVAP has been triggered here. Bang! And that's just going to be enough there. Sorry, they're called armor-piercing discarding sabot shells. So trading an AT gun for a Stug and a Tiger is pretty good there. Wow, these LMG Grenadiers are just being hardcore, though. They're just like totally... There was one man just Ramboing it there. Takes out an AT gun. Now the Pershing's going to overrun the 3-star... Oh, wow, the 3-star Panzer Grenadiers go down. And I feel... Honestly, I feel like this whole engagement was a little bit, like, panicked, a little bit flustered. Pretty poorly executed from Torano. I mean, he just traded terribly there. He lost a lot of his best and most expensive units, the exact ones you never want to lose, for relatively inconsequential units of his foe. If you can trade your AT guns for all of the stuff that they're meant to kill, you're always fine with that in this game. So trading 2 AT guns for a Tiger tank and a Stug is absolutely fine. Just absolutely fine, and he managed to pick up some Panzer Grenadiers as well as part of that, so that was great. Nice rifle grenade here for Torano. Going to do some damage, but these Grenadiers have to GTFO. The MG42 actually is going to try and mano a mano take on a 50 cal in an MG war. That's never going to go well for the 42. So yeah, they're going to have to GTFO there. Actually, you know what? I doubt that they'll make that out. There's just so many things hitting them. Oh, wow, and Torano has seen enough. He's actually going to GG here. And I can't blame him simply because his fuel is so low. He's just miles away from being able to stabilize with another Stug or a Tiger, which is what he'd really need. Because the thing is, these Stugs are kind of just target practice for a Pershing. The Pershing's just, you know, it's got the range, it's got the speed, it's got the hitting power. It's just like, you know, it's like shooting water balloons. So yeah, the Stugs are really, 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 like, their value just drops off once the Pershing's on the field. And he's so far from another Tiger here as Torano that he's going to have to, like, try and fight a Pershing and a ridiculously vetted up line of infantry for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't even... It'd be a long time because I don't think he's going to hold on to this fuel point very long. To get out another Tiger, and I just, like, that's just never going to happen. He knows it. He's going to GG. And that is a well-won game here for Fredbrik. Nicely done. That was like 26 minutes and 12 seconds of almost pure combat. There was probably like about a minute. It feels like there was about a minute of silence that game. Like at most there was a minute when people weren't firing away. It felt that way anyway. It felt that way. It was probably a little more than a minute. I don't know. Yeah, sweet game. Congrats to Fredbrik. Nicely taken there. So yeah, I'm gonna go on and start casting this Homeworld Does as a correct tournament that I've got. As again, like as I said at the start of the cast, one more time. Sorry, I haven't been uploading more recently. It's just been hella busy at work. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But you know, I'll hopefully be uploading more than I have this week, next week, and then after next week, hopefully normal services will resume. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and this is Magpie 842 signing out.